Suffering. It's one of the oldest and biggest questions we humans have ever grappled with. Why do we have to deal with pain, and what, if anything, can we do about it? In this explainer, we're going to trace this ancient problem and uncover a really surprising solution, one that's all about the power of the stories we tell ourselves.
Okay, let's start with this quote from Dostoevsky, because it really gets to the heart of things. He isn't saying we should go looking for suffering, not at all. What he's saying is, since suffering is pretty much unavoidable, what really defines us, what shows our character, is how we choose to respond to it. The real test is, can we rise to the occasion?
And that very question has been a huge challenge for thinkers for, centuries. If suffering is just a fact of life, how are we supposed to make any sense of it?
At the core of this whole thing is what's called the problem of evil. It's this classic giant paradox. If there's a good and all-powerful God, then why is there so much suffering in the world, right? It feels like a total contradiction, and it's a question that has sparked endless debate.
So, philosophy usually breaks suffering down into two main types. First, you've got moral evil. That's the suffering caused by human choices, things like cruelty or theft. And then there's natural evil, which comes from the world itself. Earthquakes, diseases, natural disasters. It's the kind of impartial chaos the universe can throw at us.
But here's the thing. If these external forces, both what people do and what nature does, are so often totally beyond our control, where could a solution possibly be? Well, the answer, as a lot of thinkers figured out, means we have to make a pivot inward. Tolstoy just nails this shift perfectly. We pour so much energy into trying to fix the world around us, but maybe, just maybe, the most powerful thing we can do is start with the one thing we actually have some control over, ourselves.
And this really points to our most powerful tool for dealing with suffering. It's not about trying to magically erase it from the world, but about changing our internal relationship to it. It's about building up our resilience so we can weather life's inevitable storms.
So this naturally brings us to the big question. What does that transformation actually look like? I mean, it's easy to say change yourself, right? But how do you do it? What are the tools for that kind of deep inner work?
Well, it turns out that one of the most powerful ways to do this has been with us all along, just woven right into the fabric of our cultures, storytelling and art.
The philosopher Alain Bowden puts it so well. Literature does something pretty amazing. It's not just entertainment. It actually acts as a guide, a map to our own complicated inner worlds. The stories of other people can help us navigate our own feelings of joy, grief, confusion, everything.
And this distinction is absolutely critical. Art doesn't offer an instrumental cure. It's not like a pill you take to make the pain go away. Instead, what it offers is therapeutic engagement. It helps us learn how to live with our pain, to sort of befriend our struggles, and find a new way of looking at things that lets us coexist with hardship without letting it destroy us. It's all about finding meaning, not eliminating the problem. So how does it work? Well, it happens in about 3 key ways. First, it makes us more sensitive. It tunes our radar to the little, important details of life. Second, it gives us the words for our feelings. Those complex emotions that are so hard to describe? And third, and this might be the most important, it shows us that we are not alone in what we're going through, and that breaks down the walls of isolation that suffering so often builds.
And there is no better example of someone who really lived this idea than the great American poet Walt Whitman. He didn't just write about life. He actively used his art as a tool for building a stronger, more resilient self.
Whitman actually saw his own poetry as a type of medicine. He offered his words as prescriptions for a healthy soul and antidotes to all the forces of decay and despair. He genuinely believed his art could heal, not just him, but his readers too.
And you can literally see him building this self in his masterpiece, Song of Myself. He's creating what you could call a symbolic self, a core identity that stays separate from the pulling and hauling of everyday life. This self just stands apart, calm, watching, and whole, no matter what chaos is swirling around it.
And get this wasn't just some literary idea. People who knew him really well confirmed that he actually lived this way. One friend pointed out that Whitman seemed to exist in this state of deep calm and self-balance, able to face pain, sickness, and criticism without ever losing his center. He really did practice what he preached. So, what's the ultimate takeaway here? Well, Whitman's life points to this incredibly powerful idea about taking control of our own narrative. It's about becoming the co-author of your own life story. The writer Isaac Dinesen captured it perfectly. The second we can frame our suffering inside a narrative, we change it. It stops being just a chaotic, meaningless thing that happened to us. The act of storytelling gives it shape, it gives it perspective, and it robs it of its raw power to destroy us. This is an active, creative thing you do. Nietzsche had a phrase for it, recreating the past. It's about looking at the unchangeable facts of your life, the good, the bad, all of it, and instead of being a victim to it, you choose to affirm it. It's like saying, this was my journey, this is what made me who I am, and so I will it.
And that leaves us with a final question, which is both a challenge and an invitation. Suffering is going to happen. The pulling and hauling will come for all of us. So the only real question left is, what story are you going to choose to tell about it? How will you redeem it?